Welcome to the Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano. Let's get you to the pulse on everything you need to know. And today's show is sponsored by the Pilsner House and Beer Garden. Go visit our friends at 1422 Grand Street. Have a beer, have those great brunch items that we've tried a few weeks ago, and have an absolutely great time. We're also sponsored by Long Shot Pistol and Rifle, Secaucus, New Jersey, providing responsible CCW training only to responsible owners. Visit their huge indoor training center and full-service gun store. Start your CCW training today, Long Shot Secaucus, and we are here at the beautiful Madison Pizza Lab, located at 152 Newark Street, where we're going to have an exclusive interview in his refurbished backyard with owner Dave Carney. Let's go outside. All right, as promised, we're here with the prestigious Dave Carney, owner of the Madison Pizza Lab, located at 152 Newark Street, and also Madison Bar and Grill, located at 1316 Washington Street. Dave, it is so great seeing you.
Peter, it's good seeing you.
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting us in your beautiful backyard here, Dave.
Yeah,
I guess why don't we start with this, because it is a crisp fall evening, early evening, I should say, and the artwork on these walls are amazing. What gave you the motivation to get this done?
I don't know exactly. I think there was a friend here with me, and I showed him the space, and he said, why don't you do graffiti on these walls? I was thinking about how to make this a comfortable situation, Yeah. And he said, why don't you do graffiti here? I went, that's a great idea. So I got in touch with some kid from Queens through Instagram, and he came over and he said, I love it. And this is what he did.
This is amazing. It really is. So, Dave, this is your new venture, as they say. Of course, the Madison Bar and Grill is extremely popular right at the corner of 14th and Washington.
Juggernaut.
Juggernaut, as they like to say. Exactly. And Dave, the pizza market in Hoboken is very saturated. But one thing that I noticed about Madison Pizza Lab is how long it took you to open up. I mean, I really feel like you guys wanted to do the product and the product right and make sure it was right. I mean, how long did it take you to actually, from when you leased the space to open?
I had the space for a whole year before we opened. So the reason I named it the lab is because when you come here to get pizza, it'll always be good pizza, but it might not always be the same, because we're forever trying to tweak it, make it better, different flours, different tomatoes, different cheeses.
Wow. That is phenomenal.
It didn't take me a year to figure all that out. It kind of became a social club for me and my friends to hang out every night.
Oh, okay. Well, now I know why the yard is like this right now. Let me tell you. And by the way, Dave, I never got my invite.
The door was always open to my lifelong friends.
There you go.
Including Josh.
I know. And nobody likes him, Dave. Let me tell you.
I love Josh.
Exactly. Dave, so obviously you're keeping this strictly to pizza, but the menu does have other variations on it. I think you have some salads.
Some salads, as I call them, rabbit food.
Rabbit food, exactly. Josh is a big fan of that title as well. But you just wanted to kind of stick to the main theme
Pizza
of the
and
lab.
Parm.
Pizza and parm.
Pizza and parm. So we do some Parmesan sandwiches. Very simple. I don't want a big menu. I want to keep it tight and really, really good.
Tight and really good. I absolutely love that. Now, and by the way, over at the Madison, your other restaurant, there are pizzas on that menu. Yes. Yeah, Bar and Grill.
Pizza's amazing there also.
Exactly.
For bar pies.
Because I had exactly. So that was my question to you. I guess the difference is here you do more traditional pies. And over at
this is more of a traditional pizzeria feel. There are some places in town that are pizzerias but only sell whole pies.
Right.
I sell slices.
Oh,
I just slices to go and all that stuff. So It's a bit of a different feel. It's not really a serious sit-down restaurant. Pick up your food at the counter, come into the yard, go to your table, eat.
And you eat. Exactly. And next week, we have a special surprise for you, Dave. We're going to have all three of our foodies come in, and we're going to have Megan Ixom, Daria Peace, and Krista Stucchio all trying your pies right on this program next week.
Yeah,
Are you excited?
That's really exciting.
Exactly.
And that's amazing exposure for those three.
Exactly.
Including Hannah Squared.
Oh, Hannah Squared, who was, of course, he gave her a shout out, his social media person. So, Dave, there are many variations of pizza inside. I mean, do you believe that it's just enough? Because, people have different tastes for different strokes for different folks, as they like to say, correct?
It might be too much right now. It might be overwhelming when you come in. You have so many choices to choose from that you can't make a choice. So I'll get a gauge and feel of how the customer feels. And if I have to whittle it down, I'll whittle it down.
Oh, look.
Hi, Gina.
He's kissing on camera right here. Hey, Gina.
Sorry. Hi,
Gina. We're just filming. Don't mind us. Boy, I thought I was popular, but Dave's got me beat by leaps and bounds over here.
Not at all. But so we might whittle it down to, if in 6 months we have 6 pies that really sell,
right,
then we just go with them.
Absolutely. So, Dave, like I said, Hoboken has many, many pizzerias, on almost like every corner. What makes Madison Pizza Lab a little different? By the way, him and our good friend Frank Pemazzano, we have to give him a shout out from Il Tavolo di Pemazzano.
Of course, I love
and
Frank.
Victor Lucatardo has the Hoboken Pie Guys
right.
hashtag. They've been everywhere to try pizza, and now they're doing it at the lab. So you've tried.
It kind of happened all by accident. People thought we were doing the Hoboken Pie Guys because I wanted to do this, but that wasn't the case. We were doing that, and then I came in here to do a review for the people.
Right.
And the lady said, "Would you like to buy it?" And I went, "I didn't know you were selling it." So we made a deal, and that's how it really happened. But the difference between me and all the other pizzerias in Hoboken, it's product. I use the best product available, the best flour, the best tomatoes, the best cheese. That's what will set us apart from every other place in Hoboken.
Exactly. And that's wonderful. And it's in a great location. Newark Street is always hopping.
There's a lot of traffic.
A lot of foot traffic, a lot of traffic. That's just Hoboken. Dave, you have interesting hours here, though. I mean, I believe that you're closed Monday, Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken,
Monday, Tuesday,
correct? Yeah. So you are open Wednesday through Sunday. Is there a reason why you did that? Or?
You want to know something? The pandemic did something to everybody in the world.
Right.
It made us softer. and I decided to give the employees the 2 same days off every week, Monday and Tuesday. And those are primarily 2. It's the slowest days of the week.
Right.
So I said, let's close Monday and Tuesday. We'll go hard for 5 days, take 2 days off.
That's smart. Good boss over here. Person who's always been soft is Josh Sotomayor Einstein. He's, he just doesn't make sense on anything he says and doesn't go hard on anything.
Makes a lot of sense.
The laziest guy I ever met in my life. Can you believe it?
Josh and I have a social media history.
I know. Trust me.
I love.
Dave, let's discuss. You spoke about all of these wonderful pies, and I don't want to hear the answer that you like all of them. What's your go-to here?
My go-to is, believe it or not, our veggie pie.
What's on there?
I take peppers, I roast them. I take onions, I roast them. I take scallions, I roast them. And then when it comes out of the oven, we put cheese and sauce in those and cook it. Comes out of the oven, we put burrata on top.
Oh.
So the burrata is not cooked. It's still kind of wet and oozing.
And kind of.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
and the flavors must be unbelievable.
It's a hard sell because not everybody likes the strong flavors of the cream and all that inside the mozzarella. Right. You will enjoy it, which you'll have later.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently I'm staying for dinner too, I mean, we're telling the crew to get out of here. Yeah. All right, Dave, we have about a minute left here. Is there anything that you want to tell the Hoboken public about the Madison Pizza Lab? What can they expect when entering the doors here at 152 Newark Street?
A smile, a great pizza. It's really an experience here. You come in, you get friendly service, good food, and a relaxed atmosphere. You guys can't see, but on the back wall it says "Sit, relax, and enjoy."
Oh, we'll get B-roll of that.
And
just
that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. And I can't go to commercial break unless we don't bring up your mother.
Rosie. My mom, Rosie, as you know, is legend.
A legend in Hoboken.
And she just turned 89 last week.
God bless. Yeah. My grandmother just turned 89.
That's right. I saw your picture
Exactly.
I thought of my mom when I saw that.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Rosie, we love you. I think she's a fan of the show.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And your grandmother, it's amazing. We're blessed.
We really
to have
are
that wisdom. In our life.
Absolutely.
Right?
Dave Carney, congratulations on your new venture.
Thank you so much,
we really appreciate you coming on. Absolutely.
I appreciate you coming
here. Please. This is our pleasure.
I'm honored.
Oh, wow. Owner of the Madison Pizza Lab, located at 152 Newark Street and Madison Bar and Grill, 1316 Washington Street. Go visit both locations. Maybe go get hammered at the bar. Come here for a slice.
There you go.
Right?
Peter, thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, folks. We will be right back.
Welcome to Hudson River Care Counseling. Hello, I'm Dr. Pam Pater-Ennis, the CEO and founder of Hudson River Care Counseling with over 30 years of clinical social work experience and therapy. We are a progressive counseling and coaching practice with a diverse team that brings a holistic approach to clients. We offer support both in person and through digital platforms such as telehealth. Consider us a safe haven that you can trust with care for your mental health needs. Visit our website to set up a consultation today.
Peter Biancamano, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. Folks, don't forget to go on our Facebook and our Instagram pages by searching The Pulse with Peter B. and like and follow us on each of those platforms. We're constantly updating those pages with previews of each week's segments and cool stories. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our email address at thepulsewithpeterb@gmail.com. Today's show is brought to you by Vote Kids First on Tuesday, November 8th for Hoboken Board of Education. Together, we're putting Hoboken's kids first. Welcome back to the Pulse with Peter B. Peter Biancamano, back in the host chair, and we are here at Hudson River Care Counseling, located at 310 Cedar Lane in Teaneck, New Jersey, and 63A 8th Street in Hoboken, New Jersey. And we are back for our monthly segment here. And I'm always excited to be here because I always feel influenced in a way when I get here by the powerful people that work for HRCC. And the person to my right needs no introduction because she was here last month. And that is Rachel Frank. Rachel, nice to see you again.
Hi, nice to see you too.
Absolutely. And the person to my left is making his Pulse premiere, but you might have seen him in our commercials. And that is Thomas Johnson. Thomas, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Absolutely. Thomas, we'll start with you. What do you do here at HRCC?
So currently I'm a psychotherapist or mental health therapist. I'm a licensed social worker and I've been practicing now for about 6 months.
Wow, unbelievable. And Rachel, we know you were here last month, but why don't you just tell the audience again what you do here?
Okay, hi. My name is Rachel and I'm a clinical social work intern here at Hudson River Care Counseling. And so I run, I see clients from kids to adults.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah. And today, folks, we're going to be talking about something that's probably very, very prevalent either in your home or at a friend's home or a family member's home, and that is parenting with special needs children. And Rachel, you know, I think I mentioned this last month. I was on the school board in Hoboken for 6.5 years. And my first year on the school board, there was maybe 150 special needs students. By the time I was in my 6th year, there was, I think, 500 special needs students. And I'm sure you've seen that here as well with the type of people coming in asking for help.
Definitely. I work with, I have several clients that have kids with special needs. And I really do my best. Not only am I supporting the child, but I'm supporting the whole family as a unit. And I work with them with resources. I work with them with support. It's beyond just the 45 minutes in a session. It really, I really work with them to get them the support and the help that they deserve.
Yeah, unbelievable. And Thomas, I mean, you also work with these families. You know, is there any type of specific example that you can discuss about how you might have received, you know, extra clients, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah, well, I mean, COVID-19 was traumatic for a lot of people, especially the youth. It's what we consider a trauma, part of the ACEs, adverse childhood experience, where, you know, a youth, what happened during the pandemic was they were separated from their cohorts, their their system of supports at school, and they were isolated for long periods of time. A lot of them went into depression. You saw a lot of depressive symptomatology with them, reintroducing them back into school. You saw a lot of problematic behaviors. A lot of them had social anxiety coming back in. So I've seen a lot of that here, especially with the youth who had issues prior to the pandemic with school, with bullying and being reintroduced back, they never really developed those coping skills. So when they got reintroduced back into school, the bullying intensified alongside with the depressive symptomatology from being at home for so long. Yeah.
Wow, unbelievable. No, it's just, yeah, no, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, because I can imagine. I mean, getting a child not used to, but in a way to survive the type of bullying, then all of a sudden he's got to stay home for a year.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and then go back and have to relive that in a way. It's just, Rachel, you could speak on a personal level about this.
Yeah, I am a mother of a child with special needs. My son was actually diagnosed with autism actually shortly before the pandemic. So when he switched to public schools closed down. So when he was supposed to start services that he hadn't had, we were left in the dark. And I'm really passionate about working with families with special needs as a mother of a child with special needs. I've been really connected with this community. And one of the things I always tell the parents that I work with is the importance of getting connected with other groups, with other mothers, with other fathers, with other families that are going through what they're growing through. Just the resources alone, being able to, it can be very overwhelming to research occupational therapists, physical therapists, speech therapists, all of these many different things, and to maneuver the IEP system in public schools, and really fight for your child to get the help and support they need. So I'm constantly involved with parents with that, and I'm actually developing a support group for parents with kids with special needs, because the parents need the support so much, because they're the ones that are day in and day out. They often don't get a break from the challenges. It's hard raising neurotypical kids, and it's even harder with kids that are not neurotypical and that have challenges.
Incredible. And Thomas, I think Rachel brought up a very, very good point, because as I mentioned in the beginning of the segment, the influx of students in the Hoboken Public Schools when I was a board member there. And it's not because, they're just, these random new cases. Right. It's because the IEPs and maneuvering the IEPs, as Rachel mentioned. And the problem was always there. It's just, they weren't, teaching the problem, or trying to solve the problem, I should say. Am I right or wrong about that? So,
there was a lot of issues with securing services. Mm-hmm. I actually worked with a youth in the Hoboken system. Wow. Who had to get an IEP, and he had the mom had to fight for it. Wow. Right, because a lot of the times there's a difference between the behaviors of a child. Like a child can have problematic behaviors. Maybe they may have delinquent behaviors, as opposed to maybe a cognitive inhibition, or they have a learning disability. And so you have behavioral youth who exhibits behavioral issues, and youth who have cognitive issues. And sometimes they kind of just mix them in, and they can kind of choose who gets what depending on the type of what they're exhibiting. So the youth that I work with from Hoboken, he exhibited a lot of behavioral issues, but that was also associated with some cognitive, some learning disabilities as well. And mom had to really fight for that, like thoroughly. Like she had to go to the school boards and really advocate for her son. The best way to get in front of that typically is when your child is going into the school year, maybe the prior semester, really go in and speak to the school board or speak to the principal in regards to securing services for your child. Maybe they can get a para. They definitely would need an IEP written. So you want to be able to advocate for them for that. Everything has to be preemptive. That's the best way to secure services, and be consistent. Continue to fight your case. Continue to get other professionals involved so that you can maybe get letters written, just confirming your child's psych evals or issues that they may have. So that would be the best advice I can give.
And I'm sure you both will agree, Rachel and Thomas, that it's an issue with your child, but the family needs to be there to support the child. I mean,
yes.
From a personal experience. Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like, for me, when my son was diagnosed, it was very, very hard on both myself and my husband, and just adjusting to this new normal. And these expectations we go into as parents. I want my child to this, and when you hear that your child may not accomplish this, or just the accepting the diagnosis can be just such a struggle. And I've seen too often that there's just not enough support groups for parents, and they're the ones that have to support their kids.
And speaking of which, Thomas, a support group is here at Hudson River Care and Counseling. Right. If they do want to come out and possibly request your services, how can they do so? The floor is yours, as we like to say in the television business. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You can go to the Hudson River Care and Counseling website, and my profile is there. You can send an email to our intake coordinator. She'll reach out to me and let me know, or anyone here. We're all pretty good with this subject.
We're on Facebook too.
Yep.
Social media.
But yeah.
Absolutely. Rachel, anything to add to that, or?
You know what? Nothing really to add. Just that mental health is important, and our parents with kids with special needs need to get the care for themselves, and self-care is really important, because it's the hardest job being a parent, and when you have a child with special needs, it adds another layer of challenges. So we need to support these parents.
Yeah.
Oh, and sorry, I wanted to add too, what you want to do too when you're dealing with youth who have special needs, it's important to build up your resiliency and also the youth's resiliency. So what you want to do as a parent is you want to make sure, one, you're doing a lot of self-care. A lot of parents get so bogged down with stress that they neglect themselves. And your mental health is key to dealing with your youth. You need to stay centered. Just do things for yourself. It's okay. You need to rely on your support systems. You need to have people you can rely on, maybe to babysit here and there, where you guys can go out and do something fun for yourself. Make sure the youth also has a support system, that they need also self-care. Allow them as well to not get too bogged down with school and work and schoolwork. So you don't want to overload them as well. You want to pay attention to them, really take what they feel into actual consideration. I know because they're children, it can feel like their feelings are, maybe not matter as much, but their feelings are important. And it's key to figuring out how to best assist them moving forward. If you want the behaviors to desist, what you really have to do is see the child from their perspective and where they're at, and you want to encourage them with their intrinsic attributes, not something that they, not their academic performance, which is good. You can do that, but you more or less want to tell them, hey, I love you because of who you are. Sorry.
Well, no, that's no need to apologize. And thank you for sharing a personal story, and thank you for sharing, your client story a little bit earlier in a segment. And that's what you're going to get here at Hudson River Care and Counseling. The people are here to help you, and they are here with either personal experiences or other client experience. So you definitely want to reach out to them. Rachel, Thomas, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. All right, folks, we will be right back. Peter Biancamano back with you. Don't forget to watch us on cable access every Sunday and Monday at 9 a.m. Optimum Channel 18, Fios Channel 46, and Comcast Channel 190. Also on Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m., you can watch our show on our YouTube channel, and you can also binge watch all of our old shows. Who doesn't want to keep watching The Pulse with Peter B? We'll see you there. Welcome back to The Pulse with Peter B. Peter Biancamano back at the beautiful Madison Pizza Lab, located at 152 Newark Street in Hoboken. And we want to thank our friends over at Hudson River Care and Counseling, of course, Thomas Johnson and Rachel Frank, for always enlightening us with their profession and their skills over at Hudson River Care and Counseling. And a person to my right will hopefully enlighten us on this interview, and it is Hoboken Board of Education candidate of the Leadership That Listens slate, Mr. Antonio Graña. How are you today, sir?
Peter,
great seeing you.
It's good to see you again.
Exactly. So, Antonio, you are running this year. God help you. No, I'm kidding. It's always a fun time when you're running for school board. I've done it many times, trust me. Tell us why you're running and maybe a little bit about yourself.
So I'm running because I love Hoboken. Hoboken is my adopted home. When I moved here 20 years ago, I didn't know exactly that it was going to end up with finding my wife and having a child and getting into the schools. And then about 15 years of different kinds of community service and volunteer effort. So one of the things that I have found as I've been more and more engaged in the public district schools is that these are schools that we should be proud of. And I believe that this is a way that I can give back.
Fantastic, Antonio. Really, really is. So, Antonio, obviously, if you're elected, I'm sure you have some goals. How do you plan on achieving those goals if you're lucky enough to be elected to the board?
So I think there's a couple of things. So we do have goals, and our goals are always kind of first and foremost about the kids and ensuring that academic performance and academic results continue to rise for everyone. And our schools have made so much progress. I don't know if you knew this, but a few short years ago when we introduced AP classes into the high school, actually about 4.9% of the kids actually passed those AP exams. Wow. Now we're about 60%. Wow. Now we have pre-AP classes in the middle school. We have a fantastic extracurricular program developing at all levels. And it's just an exciting place to be. The second thing is, and we'll talk a little bit more, I'm sure, about initiatives and so forth.
Absolutely.
But communication and transparency is key. Hoboken is a small community. It's a tight community. People want a voice. And I would like to be the person on the board that has helped broadcasting to the community how we're doing. Our schools are really something we should be proud of.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Antonio, we were lucky enough a few weeks ago when it was a lot warmer outside to have Dr. Johnson on our program.
Yes, that was awesome.
Yeah, no, she was awesome. She doesn't do many media appearances, but she made mention of how the schools are bustling at the seams, basically. There's not enough space, especially at the elementary and the middle school levels. I was honored today to go over to Denver School because we are going to have a debate this Friday at AJ Denver School with Antonio and the 7 other members running for school board. So I had to plug it. Sorry, Antonio. And the middle school has now taken over Denver School. I mean, do you think that literally the space issue is one of the biggest factors facing the school district going forward?
So here's what I would say, Peter. This is a case of to some extent demographics, a family staying in Hoboken, but a lot of it is a case of supply and demand. You improve the product and people want more. Right. So for example, when I started, many years ago now at Connors Elementary, because my daughter's now in the middle school, we were ramping up our PTO, we were ramping up all these activities. Our school was not full. Now, I don't think there's a seat left. Wow. So for example, when my daughter finished 5th grade, we don't have science labs anymore. We didn't have the traditional art room and these kinds of things. It's really teachers on carts. We don't have a library anymore. A school without a library. That's just because we're running out of room. Demara's school is now a school that is over capacity, as is Brand. So this is going to be a long-term challenge that the community needs to do to invest in its schools.
Absolutely. And speaking of Dr. Johnson, she is the chief educational officer of the community. If elected, you are one of 9 members that oversees her. I mean, that is your direct employee. Do you plan on working with her going forward? She's been here for nearly a decade and is popular amongst the community. Do you plan on working with her if elected?
So Dr. Johnson has been a transformative leader, I think, in this community. And I think people would say she is a reason like a lot of people are here. The kind of growth that we've absorbed under her leadership is, we've added about almost 27% of new students in the last 8 years. Now keep in mind, those students are all moving into facilities without major renovations that are all 50 to 115 years old. Right? Okay. So Dr. Johnson now needs to balance the agenda that we have towards making sure that all of our kids have the right kinds of facilities and that we're meeting our educational objectives and we're able to deliver all of our programming. She's a transformational leader. Our job as trustees is to set the goals, is to set the goals and objectives. And so I think I'm totally excited to work with Dr. Johnson in this capacity. Her ability to set the right culture, the right tone, the right leadership strategy is helping the board execute those goals. I am really looking forward to working with her.
And just as a follow-up to the space issues at the school, I mean, the referendum that we had in January, it was a referendum because you were basically, the Hoboken Board of Education was asking the public for help in, trying to solve these space issues by building another school. And I know you were a proponent of vote yes for the new high school. Because of that, it's still an issue because the referendum did fail. Am I right?
It did fail. It was a big ask of the community. It was a big ask. And I think it's a big ask in a couple of things. Not only are things expensive, but, let's be honest, Hoboken needed a little more time to go through and understand all of the things that were being asked for. So I would be the first person to say that, but the intent was really very clear. The state has agreed we now must get a fourth elementary school. And the plan was to remove middle school students from Demorest, which is bursting at the seams. We'd already secured $30 million from the state to renovate Demorest into the new elementary school, the fourth elementary school. The existing high school, a great space for our rapidly growing middle school student population to grow into, and then a modern 21st century education experience in the high school for all of Hoboken's kids, whether it be district children, private school children, charter children. That's something Hoboken can be proud of.
Absolutely. Well, we have a few seconds left here, Antonio. I'm going to ask you to look into the camera. The election is Tuesday, November the 8th. Polls are open 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. We're going to have your running mates, Leslie Norwood and Alex De La Torre, and I just wanted to say that on the show, on the program next week. But why should people go out and simply vote for Board of Education, one of the most important and prestigious boards in this city, and why should they vote for your team?
So I think there's two reasons. One reason you should vote because everybody should vote. And public schools, we believe, are central to every community. Everybody has a vested interest. I am delighted to be running with my slate mates, Leslie Norwood and Alex De La Torre. Between us, we have all 5 children in the district schools, from the elementary level all the way up to the high school. We've kind of started pre-K and gone all the way up. We've always played leadership roles in the school or in supporting roles to the school. And so between us, we have about 40 years of district experience. We think we're the right people for the job.
Absolutely. Well, Antonio Graña, and your ballot positions are 2I, 3I, and 4I.
That's correct.
On Tuesday, November 8th, like I said, polls open 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. It's great to see you again, buddy.
Thank you, Peter.
Absolutely. Thanks again. All right, folks, join us next week for The Pulse on everything you need to know. I am Peter Biancavano. I hope you have a great week, everybody.